Hello, Chemistry 10HH students. This is Mrs. Altman. We are on video number 5, Chemical Foundations, Part 5. Here are our objectives with today's video. We're just going to continue with unit conversions, but with some more tricky types of unit conversions. Pause here. So the easiest way to learn these more complex unit conversions is really just by doing them. So I'm going to just be working through examples with you this video. So we have 88 houses per square mile, and we want this in houses per square kilometer. So the first step when you have these fractions, I personally like to put the number up top. So I put 88 houses over 1 mile squared. And then I treat them as two separate unit conversions, one with a numerator and one with a denominator. So I don't need to do anything with my numerator because it's houses in the question and houses in the answer, so I leave it as is. But I do need to convert from miles to kilometers. If you look at the sheet that I gave you, you'll see I don't have anything going from square miles to square kilometers, but I do have something that goes from miles to kilometers. So what we do in that case is I take my miles to kilometers. So 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. And because mile is squared in my original question, I have to square the unit factor as well. Sometimes you'll need more than one of these. Sometimes you won't, like you don't here. And then otherwise it's the same. I put this in my calculator and I round to the correct number of significant figures. So this I got 34 because I needed two significant houses per square kilometer. And then I just take a moment to think to myself, does this make sense? And yes, it does, because a mile is larger than a kilometer. So it would make sense I'd have fewer houses per unit area. And then the other one is pretty similar, except there's no squaring for this one. So 45.00 miles over 1 hour. And then I'm going to start with my numerator. I'm going to convert miles to kilometers, or to meters, actually. I'm going to have to stop through kilometers first, though. So now I'm finished with my numerator. I've converted miles to meters. So now I need to convert hours to seconds. So I'm going to first convert it to minutes. Now I'm finished with my denominator. I just put everything in my calculator now and round to 4 significant figures. So I got 20.11 meters per second. Now let's take a look at another example. The next example is very, very similar. So pause here, take a minute to try it, and then I'll work through it. So I've got 36 pounds per square inch, which is a unit of pressure. I now want to convert this to kilograms per cubic meter. I'm going to start by converting pounds to kilograms. Now I'm going to be converting from inches to meters. I don't have a direct conversion on the sheet that I gave you, so I'm going to have to stop through centimeters first. And then because inches is squared, I'm going to need to square the unit factor. I actually made a mistake there. I am sorry. I should have flipped that fraction. So I had to square both of these, and now I will need to put this in my calculator and round to two significant figures. So to make this two significant figures, I make this 25,000 kilograms per meter squared. Or I could have put it in scientific notation, 2.5 times 10 to the fourth. That also would have been fine. Now we have one other. So I don't need to do anything with the grams because I want my final answer to be in grams. So I just need to convert cubic centimeters to cubic meters. So there are 100 centimeters to a meter. And I have to cube my unit factor since centimeters is cubed. And so for this, I could do 4, 5, and then all of the zeros. Or I could put it in scientific notation if I wanted to. That just looks more elegant to me, but there's not a specific rules for when you have to do it and when you don't. Sometimes your calculator will give it to you in scientific notation. You don't have to take it out of scientific notation. All right, that's all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night.